There we go. Make sure the sound's up to the right volume. First of all, hello everybody on YouTube. I've seen some people have come over to support Mini Midas, Floofy, the plant pappy. Thank you so much for following me over here. And hello, Behance chat. Saya, Millen, RV, Kimber, my sister, Oliver, Sam. Hello everyone! Did you have fun with my sister learning how to do or how to make characters in Illustrator? I hope so. The file that we're using though is slightly different. So I'm going to give you a second to make sure you can download the file. Sam or Cody are going to drop the link down below unless you downloaded it before. Then make sure you've got After Effects open so we can begin. Greetings from London. Ray, I'm in London too. And your name's like mine, but minus the E. Hi. Another Ray in the chat, 2 sons. Hey. Hi, Anki! Okay, you've had a second to download your files, or have you? We're looking for the link. Keep an eye on the chat. The link will be there. But the challenge today is kind of involved, but it links on from the other challenges we've done. So let's take a little look. So with Sis, you made a character, or if you've got the file that Sis has given you, you got a file like that. And with me, we're going to turn it into an animated loop, a short loop. An animated loop that will be able to show your characters off with whatever emotions and feelings you'd like. Like for instance, I seem more happy and energetic on the seesaw and my sister's more graceful. But yes, thank you, Sam. Sam's dropped the link down below in the Behance chat. There should be a link just above Cody Bear's last message for you to join in the Behance chat, but I'm sure a link will be dropped in the YouTube chat as well. That was a fast download. Really? Yee! Ah, so cute. Yay! Okie dokie. So, inside your After Effects, make sure you head over to the left panel, double tap, and select your file. Mine's called Day 4, so I'm going to grab that. We have found that it doesn't seem to matter which one you pick. As long as you're in composition, you can either pick document size or layer size. The result seems to be the same. I'm going to double tap my comp. Welcome, Largo. And in my composition are the files the exact same way that we see them. So I've written down a few notes for how we're going to do this. All we have to do is, first and foremost, organize our layers. Aggressive seesaw? Why is the seesaw aggressive? The best way for me to organize this at the moment is to pinpoint what's what. So I've got my background, which isn't going to move, so I'm going to lock it down. I can see back leg, back arm, all of these seem to be mine. It doesn't have my name on them though. So what you can do, especially if you're renaming yourself or changing the characters, you could add the name of which character it is on the front. That will make it easier for you to work out who's who, especially when there's a few files that are named the same thing. You can also color code them as well. So I'm going to make my stuff fuchsia, and I'll make, let's make sure this is actually mine. That's mine. That's mine. This is one of Sis's limbs. Let me go for here. Thank you, Sam. Let's see. Back arm. These are Storms. So I'm going to change the name and change the color. I'll make Sis's blue. Used to be what our hair colors looked like back in the day. So first and foremost, organize your files. This is going to make it a lot easier when you go further. We've got the saw, which is great because that's really what we need to animate first. And the base is the base of the saw. So these two are together. Let's see. I'm going to make this red as well because organization is what? Fundamental. Okay, so we've got our saw. I'm going through and I'm turning off the visibility because it's helping me isolate what's what or where is where. Okay, so that's body and all that is Pixie. So these are all mine. Cool, I'll give this fuchsia as well. And let's finish up. Oh no, that's still mine. Yep. Let's finish up this as well. My organization is being called out. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. When you're doing lots of tweakings, I'm just going to color these. This is fine. When you're doing something that has lots of layers in it, if the more obvious it is for you to tell what's what, the faster it is for you to get in there and do what you need to do. Silver said, more Pixie, we love to see it. Ah, thank you. This is the teaching hour. Okay, so we've got the seesaw, we've got all the other stuff, but we can't animate this seesaw until we connect the people. So we've done this before, we've done parenting before, but the reason why it's important, I'm gonna need to animate the saw. So let me just press Y for my anchor, drag it down to the center. That way it's going to rotate from where we want it to rotate to. I'm just gonna lock the base down so we don't accidentally touch it. And I'm gonna rotate it. If I rotate it like this, they're not going to follow. So we need to connect our characters first and then move the saw. So let me hide the saw. Let me do one sibling first. So I'm gonna do me first. When you're parenting a body, you have to think about what's going to move what. Everything should be connected to the main body, for me at least, because then I can move the body and all of the limbs will be attached. So let me grab all of my parts and connect them to my body. There we go. So now, if I move my anchor, make sure that it's on my body, and I move my character, I'm all together. I'm Humpty Dumpty, but I put me back together again. Storm said, thanks, she's animating my files. We do a joint stream, we do. So just before mine, my big sister, ooh, something went in my eye. My big sister was streaming Illustrator files, how to make your own character. And now we're doing one that she made earlier. All right. There's a few other things that we need to connect. It's okay when you're going and making your characters or putting them together if you're not too sure where things need to be. Because when you try to move them, you'll know where they need to be based on that. So for instance, I'm just moving all of my anchor points. Make sure that your anchors are somewhere. Pixie is actually my head. Yep. Sis considers me my head, not my whole body. So I'm just going to call this Pixie head. It's like BP, there it is. Silver said, both fantastic creators and teachers. Thank you. Thank you very much. So let's say on the point of if we weren't sure of where to move stuff, if I tried to move my head now, my eyes, my mouth, and my hair isn't following. So I know I need to connect those to my head. So don't worry about not knowing about stuff from the get-go. When you try to move it, you'll see what's wrong. You'll see what's wrong. Okay, I've got back here somewhere. I've got back here. It doesn't sound right when you put it like that, does it? Okay, head. Okay. Okay, good. Good, good, good. Stop playing with your head. Cool, we're good. Now let me take a look at the arms, back leg. Let's move the anchors and everything to get them in the right place. Back leg, back arm. Always try to move your anchor where the bone of that joint would be. That looks uncomfortable. So, welcome to a rigger's life. In a rigger's life, once we rig a thing, we're just like... I don't know why, but it's like, does it work? Let me see. Yeah, it works. That's how you know you're a rigger. That is how you know. Front leg, let's put that bone in. Consider the anchor to be where the bone is, or where the joint is. Pixie Pixie, we meet again. Frosty! Frosty the Bearman seems to pop in every stream, and we love to greet them because they're always nice to us. Heads don't go that way. Are you sure? What about for an owl secretly? Okay, so I think I've done the body now. Let's do the same to Storm. Let's turn on all of Storm's files. Hola, Francisco! No, that's not right. What am I thinking of? ¿Cómo estás? There we go. Yeah. Okay, so we know all of these have to be connected to Storm's head. Storm considers the head our name. Rigger rum. Yeah. Really, I love that. The jazz. The jazz in the hand. Front arm, body. All of these need to be connected to the body. Body, yaddy, yaddy. The afro needs to be on the head. Some of the stuff will just make sense. So it's one of those things. Sometimes it will just make sense. Other times you might need a little movement first. But I know the afro is supposed to be on the head. That's normally where you find them. Milan, amazing voice. ¿Todo bien? ¿Habla en español? No. Habla Korean and Inglés. Something madre? I can't remember the word for our or my. Mi madre? Hablo pequeño español. Yeah. The only Spanish that I learnt was from school. That was one of the languages we were taught then. Okay, front arm, storm head, front afro, and moment of truth. Let's test everything. Oh, if we rotated the head from there, it wouldn't work. Okay, let's try the rotation. The head, that's not the head. That's why. Oh my gosh. And this is why it's important to put the anchor where you're supposed to put it. Ah. Okay, so now let's turn everything back on. If we try to rotate the saw now, they're still not connected. So the only thing we have to connect is the body, because that's the only thing apart from these. Hold on. These are the only things that aren't connected. Body copy. All right, here we go. Oh, Hasifa, thank you so much. They said, hi, nice work you're doing. Thank you. Good life. Ah, Dorina said, I've been wondering for so long how to move all the face parts together. Dorina, let me tell you about this. Pick, whip, watch. The parent and the child, that's what it technically is. You're parenting. One's the parent, one's the child. You make the child of the one you want to follow. So pretty much imagine like somebody carrying a baby. So all of the features are connected to the head. The head is the parent. But I'm really glad I was able to teach you something new already. Wow. But I want the saw to move. They have to go with it. So let's grab both bodies, drag it over to the saw, and now, ta-da! If we move them, they move. Yeah. Okay. So let's put our point down there. I think I want me to start down here first. And I'm just going to do the saw first. So to isolate what you're looking at, rather than having to go all the way through and turning on and off the eyeballs, right next to the eyeball, there's a little circle so you can isolate what you're doing. So we've got the saw here. So I want it to start from down there, have it swing up, and then swing back down. Hit whip is too advanced for me, but you'll figure it out. We will have, if that's the case, we will have, I'm making sure to write my stuff down. Hold on. Pick, whip, lesson. Whenever you lot say something related to, oh, I'm not really sure about this, this means that if we get another chance to do another class, I can make sure that we focus on it. How do we fix it, Penny? Arby. Hi, Vlad. Hi, Jenna Kenobi. Okay, so we've got this from one side. Oh no, that's super slow. Let's put it closer together till we get what we want. We've got that. I want it to be the same on the other side. So I'm going to claim that this will probably only take 5 seconds. So let me copy the number, composition settings, right click, paste your number in duration. And here we are. I'm going to copy my first keyframe and paste it and change the number from 30 or whatever it is. Stick a minus in front and it's perfectly the opposite. Here we go. The highs. All right, let's see if it's fast enough. Seesaws aren't that slow. Let's move it closer together. Remember, closer is fast and longer is what, Penny? What, Penny? What does it mean when we move the keyframes further apart? There we go. I'm waiting. I'll see it. I'll see it in the Behance. I'm waiting for the Behance. Wait, Oliver. There we go. Well done, Oliver. Longer means slower. That's right, Oliver. That's right, Penny. Okay, so now we've got one. And then we'll have a hold. Gonna do the hold the old-fashioned way. Just paste the same keyframe. And we need it to go over the top down. So let's take our over the top, our overshoot, change it from minus to a plus. And then paste our last keyframe. See, I was listening. I'm proud of you, Oliver. Wow, that's super slow, huh? Let me move it a little bit closer together. So we got boom, boom. Great. Maybe a little bit of a gap. Let's say we like where we are here. Let's copy this number now. Change day 4's duration to this. Oliver gets A+. That's right. Ah, there you go. There's your star. Okay. So now our saw works. That's so slow. I'm not content with this. I'm not content with how slow the saw is. I'm just going to press the N key. That way it changes where it's going to render the video from. Nice. Okay. So we've got our saw. We're good. I can't take my eye off the pizza cursor. I mean, that's good. Follow the cursor. All right. So I'm going to do myself first. So let me hide all of the blue layers. And here we are. Ironically, my notes for this are very, very simple, which is organize your files, move the saw, animate one sibling, animate the second sibling. So now it's just going to rely on your animation skills, your real world knowledge, or just go look at some references for this one. It's been a very long time since I've been on a seesaw, but I know when you go down, you tend to lean forward, and when you go up, the momentum kind of pushes you down. But when you reach the top, maybe your arms go up. So that's what we're going to do for mine. And as we go along, I'm just going to keep adding more things to it. If you have any questions, please let me know. But you know how it be over here. We got timers. Let me find my arms. We've got back arm. And we've got front arm. There we go. So let's stick a keyframe on both of our arms. Move it over a little bit. I'm going to push them again. On the left-hand side, you can make a new keyframe. That's one way to make sure that you keyframe both of your parts if they're not moving. Just going to move them over a bit. And I'm going to rotate them. Oh. Well, I would. Somebody's anchor is in the wrong place. It's yours. Why are you over there, babes? There we go. That's more like it. It's always a horrifying shock. It's never a happy shock. It's always a horrifying one. There we go. Now we're like, yeah! Okay, so let's see. Does that work? Seems like the arms need to come up a little bit sooner. So let's drag the keyframe away. Let's click and drag, move our keyframes over. Now we've got a woo! If you get a large file with lots of layers, how do you find a certain parent layer? So, ooh, that's a good question. A lot of my really detailed animations that I'll guess on my Behance, they tend to have this. So let's say you had a lot of files and you had lots of different parents. Usually while you're working, they're all there together. But if one parent didn't need to be used for the other, or let's use it in this respect. Let's say you've got a saw, but there's lots of different parts to both of these characters. I would animate the saw, do the animation for one of the characters. I would duplicate the saw because I know that's where the main parenting is happening. And then I would put everything in a composition. So I would select all of these. I would do Control and C and do a composition. That way the parent doesn't get lost. They're retained in their own group. Normally I do this at the end because it's a bit irksome to have to go back into a comp and fiddle around with stuff. And then that way you know that your parent is still available for the one that's not inside the comp. But there's lots of different ways to handle that one. Good question. Okay. I've never heard of the Shy Guy feature before. I've lost my space. Let's go back to doing our arms. I'm just going to select on my layers and press U. Let's say that's where I want them to be. I'm going to click the keyframe again. And I'm going to wait for the arms to come back down, which seems to be about here. I'm just going to copy the keyframes where the arms are down. So we go up. Whee! Oh, the arms come down a bit soon. Let's move this further together. Oh, maybe together. That way it stays with the same spacing. Vladir said it will hide the layers you're not working with without interfering in your animation. Oh, I've not heard about that before. I'm old school. I'm going to make my own way. I've never heard of the Shy Guy feature, but that sounds fantastic. Okay, so the arms go up. Woo! But if you've noticed, when you go up to something, you don't just go, woo! No, you kind of lean back like, woo! So to lean back, we need to move the body, oddy, oddy. So let me go over here. Let's press rotation again, because that's what it is. You don't have to start your keyframe at the start. It's completely up to you, wherever you need it to move from. Mine's going to move about here. Rotate the arms back. Could make it happen a little bit later. There we go. Kind of looks like we're reacting to the movement this way. Oh, she's going to fall off at that rate. She's reacting to the movement like this. Woo! Maybe a little bit sooner. Kind of have to go with the motion. There we go. And then we can copy the same keyframe, make her go back down so she's not slipping off. So we've got the woo! Whee! Now, in some cases, unless you've made yourself the eyes and the closed eyes, maybe you think about it later and you don't really want to fiddle around with it. The way that I deal with adding the different effects, like I added before, is by taking the mouth, if you've got a mouth shape or something. Otherwise, you can absolutely make these shapes within After Effects, but I don't like to. I tend to just repurpose things. So I'll take this mouth, I would rotate it upside down, because when she goes up, I want her eyes to be closed. So I'm just going to rotate them both and move them. And because they're parented, before I duplicated them, they're still parented now. So I'd go up to the face, find when I want the eyes to be closed, and I'd just hide the layer. I could turn off the layer, but I'm just going to hide the layer, which is this one. I'm Control Shift and D to delete it temporarily. I'm just going to drag these in. So now it's going to look like when she's down, she's got eyes. When she goes up, she's happy. And when she goes back down, if we do the same method, Control Shift D to split and cut. I just duplicated the layer that had her eyes on it originally. So now when she goes up, her eyes are closed and then they're open again. The jump boost device. Is there anything else in here? This one's quite straightforward. It's lots of the same thing. The head tends to move back on this one as well. So I'm just going to layer up different rotations happening in reaction to the seesaw taking us away. So we've got this. The more advanced you are at animation in general, you'll do lots of different tweaks like I had done for the final one of this, which we'll take a look at in a little bit as the time's running out. There we go. So we've got the head. We've got the head going back. I'm going to have it react to the body. You think you get it? Oh, come on, papi. And I'm going to have the head come down afterwards. Just so it's a little bit more... Animation is more interesting when things don't happen all at the same time. But it shouldn't be too far out. So happily tweak your stuff as you go. It will help you get the right feel. And that's the same for the hair. That's the same for the legs. But make sure the last keyframe is the same as the first keyframe, because once you go all the way through that, repeating the process as you go, you'll end up with something like this. To where I've got everybody doing the exact same thing that we did on the startup, but I've added rotation to all of the body parts. And there is no circular mouth. Storm didn't make one. So all I did for that, I went up to the top where the square is. I made an ellipse tool, painted it black, covered it over the mouth, made sure that it was parented. Remember, the parent takes the stuff with it. So make sure it was parented. And I just changed the size the exact same way that I did with, made it appear the same way that I did by having the eyes suddenly look like they're closed and open. The same was with Storm's. Storm's upside down eyes are actually just her mouth. So especially when you're doing simplistic stuff, think outside the box. There's a lot of things that can be repurposed. So have fun with that. And if you want to add a little bit more dynamicism to your animation, when the characters go up, depending on the energy of the character, let's say myself, for instance, I've added a lot of squash on the way up, and I've added stretch, made her taller when she goes up. So now it kind of looks like she's bursting out like, woo! Thank you, Sam. You do have the challenge files down below, so make sure you download these files, give it a try, add your own character in, and I can see the Discord so I can check up on you and give you help if you need it. I hope you enjoyed the stream today. I'll see you lot later. Bye!